What's up, guys? Go shirtless? Sometimes. Sometimes I go shirtless. Bulk. Bulk, bulk, bulk. What? Yum yum. This is one of my dishes I use when I bulk. Hello in the chat. Cameron Casanova, what's good? Happy holidays. What's up, Cameron? Bulking, eating, doing all the fun stuff. Okie dokie. Pop this right here. All right. Give me a second, we're gonna eat. I just need to plug in my phone because my battery's a little bit low. Let me plug in my phone. Happy, happy, happy. Welcome back into the chat. Welcome back into the chat. All right, time to come over here. Meow. Okie dokie. What is up? What is up? Meow. There we go. It's okay. You can be a cat. That's cool. Whatever. I don't care if you're a meow cat or whatever. Yo, what is up? Back on the bulk. Okie dokie. So. Interesting. Well, that works out very good. What is up? What's up, guys? Back on the bulk. Back on the bulk. What's up? You can't stay long. Well, I appreciate the time that you are here. Thank you. Thank you for some of the time that you are here. All right. Please make me mod. Why do you want me to make you mod? People just go around and ask for mods at a lot of channels. But you never know. Toes trucking. So guys, we're in the middle of a bulk. This is one of my favorite meals. It's homemade mashed potatoes with chicken sausage. All right, cool. Cool, that's what's up. Thanks. I went to a gym today and some of the equipment was made from Italy. No joke. So guys, I went to the gym today and I went to a new gym, right? And the new gym had this Italian equipment that has angles I've never used before. I love this equipment. Let's see. If you have any pictures. Here you go. Here's your boy on his bulk. Getting the size back. We're on a bulk. See? On the bulk. Back up to about 235 pounds. No. I ate this the other day. How good does that look? How good does that look? Yum, yum, yum. But bulk is going good. Bulk is going good. Bulk is going good. You got smashed between a gate and a cow. That's not very funny. That sucks. It sucks. That can be pretty scary. Cows are pretty strong, dude. Hey Cameron, can you tell I'm bulking? Put a little bit more size on? You see what I mean when I tell you guys I can put on size when I want to eat and train? You saw me when I was running, right? I was getting skinny. People said I look like a crackhead, but I was like, guys, I'm running almost 80 miles a week. I was like, you guys don't realize how hard it is on the body to run like 20 miles at a time, which I was doing. So now I shifted from endurance to power training, and now all that energy, all I did was prepare my body for a bulk. Now I have the heart and the circulatory system to prepare for the bulk. I always take like a month or so off of lifting weights or 2 months off and just work on running or swimming. And then when I come back to lift weights, I have muscle memory. I grew up on a dairy farm, so I know firsthand how cows are. So I think the reason that I was stronger than a lot of my friends, like I'm not super cock strong like on bench press, but when it comes to deadlifts and picking shit up and putting it above my head, I'm pretty fucking strong. Like before I hurt my back, I had close to a 700 plus pound deadlift. So I think it's because I grew up on a farm moving heavy shit around all day. Well, after I hurt my back, I still can't use my back the way I used to. Now I am doing physical therapy on myself and I am helping fix it. You started helping on your farm? I'm telling you, one of the best exercises you can do, guys. I'm telling you, the truth of the gospel. Y'all always talk about the gospel of Jesus Christ. Well, cool. This is the gospel of gains. With Coach Chris here. I'm not Jesus, okay? But I am the father of gains. And the father of gains commands you, if you want to build muscle, thou shalt carry heavy shit in both hands, and thou shalt move it from point A to point B. Thus, moving thy heavy shit from point A to point B, we shall all rest in gains together. Amen. Farmer's carries are one of the best exercises you can do. Put something in both arms and just walk it. It's aerobically good. It gives you cardio. It makes you strong. It's unilateral. It uses your core. Literally picking heavy shit up and carrying it back and forth. That will put so much size on you that thou shalt cook them. Well, guys, I've already told you. Cameron's seen this firsthand. Cameron, remember? Cameron, I've done put on like, in the last 2 months, I put on 10 pounds a month. So I put on 10 pounds this month and 10 pounds last month. So right about 2 pounds per week. Cameron saw me gain weight. And I was telling you guys, like, that's because I'm training and I'm eating a specific way to do so. But you gotta eat. If you wanna get bigger and thicker, you gotta eat. And potatoes are your best friend. If you eat potatoes, like this right here is literally mashed potatoes, okay, garlic, a little bit of butter, cheese, chicken sausage. Like, if you can't bulk on, that is so clean. Chicken sausage, potatoes, and cheese. Are you kidding me? That is perfect food. That's fats, carbs, and protein. And the fats aren't so high because it's chicken sausage instead of pork. It's real potato, not mashed potato, because I made it my damn self. So I got a 50-pound bag of potatoes, and I'm just mashing potatoes. Potatoes are so much better than rice when you're bulking. Nice, you're gonna get a new phone. How's the finger? Like this. It's looking pretty good. It's pretty good. The finger's pretty good. See? Good as new. New, good as new. I almost chopped my finger off. All right, guys. The bulk is pretty good. We are putting on size. Definitely feel the size coming back on. But we're also getting stronger. Get a lot stronger in the upper body because I can't train legs like I used to. Oh no, man. You got to remember, what I did was I cut it really deep, like to the bone. So all I did was clean it, alcohol, very little diluted peroxide, isopure at like 70-80%, because you want isotonically pure chemical for that. So I have a full first aid kit, and I decided I could have gone and got some stitches, but I thought that's just too much time. Okay, so what I ended up doing was just taking crazy glue. After I cleaned it, I super glued it shut, put Neosporin on it, kept it wrapped, and just let it heal. So now it's healing over with the next layer. And I also used honey. I have wild honey. I use honey to keep the skin antimicrobial. Don't forget, honey is an antimicrobial. So anytime you keep honey on a wound, it's gonna, once you clean a wound, the honey will prevent infection. Honey is a magic food. In case you didn't know that, that's why you always keep honey around. Hence why I have like 5-10 gallons of honey. Even though I lift weights, if I just drink honey all day, I could probably still get by. I would suck, I'd lose a bunch of muscle, but I could still get my workouts in. Honey is a great antimicrobial. So I still use Neosporin. I still have like new skin, liquid bandage and all that. I have all that. I wrapped it, kept it clean, sterile. But I'm telling you, there's something about honey. Something about honey, guys. In my experience, keeping honey over that wound really gets it to start healing. Always used honey. Everybody's always said I'm kind of weird, but it works. You see, I'm lazy. Instead of going to the store to get something that I can use at the house, if I have a jar of honey, I can make like 100 things with it, and I eat it a lot. Cool. Bro, Rio, can I get one of them? Ha ha ha. I just finished a workout, guys, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a wee bit tired. For holidays tomorrow, we're cooking, I'm cooking 13 pounds of ham. I'm gonna make a bagel, ham, biscuits, eggs. Oh my goodness. It's gonna be yummy. It's going to be epic. What are you guys doing? If I'm going to lie, hey, Toes Trucking, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I don't watch anybody's live. Love you to death. I thank you for coming to my channel. Don't think I'm an asshole. I'm just telling you straight up. I don't watch people's lives. The only time I'm on YouTube is to stream. Dang, 6 Thanksgivings? That's a lot, Cameron. Cameron, you better bring a baggie and a lunchbox, boy. You better be if I was you, I'd be scooping up food for the next 2 months, and I'd be bulking and I'd be getting gains. These biceps would be close to damn 20 inches if I was you. Oh, that's Toes Trucking. No, but no. No, and don't take that offense. It's just the only thing I do on YouTube is I stream a little bit. Right? Now, if you ever tag me on something and you say, hey, and you tag me and it pops up in my feed, I'll engage with you. So remember, don't forget to tag me. If you do a stream or a post and put at Mind Music and Muscle and I see it in my stream, I will come in there and talk with you guys. But I've got over 1.4 thousand comments in my back office, and I've responded to every one. I try to respond to every comment. So bye, see you. So here's the thing, when it comes to bulking, guys, there's one thing I want to teach you guys about bulking. And remember, this is Mind Music Muscle. I talk about philosophy. I talk about world religion. I'm fascinated with the simple question of, is God real? I'm not an atheist. I'm kind of more of an agnostic to theism, but I do believe in a higher power. But I like to talk about that. Grew up in the Christian church and all that, saw a bunch of stuff, traveled, been to countries. So I talk about stuff like that. We talk about mindset training. We also talk music theory. Sometimes I play music on here and just kind of, play a little bit. And that's kind of what we do on My Music and Muscle. So we are in the middle of a bulk. So any of you young guys, young gals, if you want to build some muscle or put on some size, I'm literally a professional coach. I am a trainer at a One Life gym. It's a 50,000 square foot facility that generates $1.2 million per year. So I'm a trainer there. Well, I got out of the insurance business because I didn't like it. Laws changed, so I changed careers. Laws changed, I changed. Now we're training. Now I'm back into bodybuilding. You see how I'm getting bigger and thicker now, right? Putting on size and mass and getting swole. You want to get swole? I can help you with that. You don't want to get swole? That's okay. Life is not about being swole. But I'll tell you, if you're a guy and you want a little bit more respect, I've done this all my life. I used to be 300 pounds. And when I was a big 300-pound monster, people were kind of like more, yeah. And I never used it for that. But when I lost weight and lost over 100 pounds, people treated me differently because I wasn't as large. And I thought that was just so shallow. But people are shallow, and that's kind of how the world is. So if you hold on to a little bit of thickness, it gives you a presence. And that presence is very good when it comes to business and talking to people. So if you have the ability to speak and you're intelligent and you look a little strong, it really does help in the negotiation process in business. Not to say it's everything, because money and power and intelligence is everything, but it's not bad to at least have some strength with you. A lot of times people like to associate with people that look good or are strong. So that's kind of a few reasons to train. I also do it because it's fun and it's meditative. I think everybody should weight train to get stronger, learn about kinesiology, how the body moves, physical therapy. It's some really good stuff. So what you guys got going on in the chat? Next little meal. Seems like it'd be a good time to take a nap to recover from that muscle. Seems like it would be. Alrighty. Cloud water. There you go. I tell you guys, if your body can process sugar and insulin, you will find it a lot easier to bulk and lift weights. You need to understand that carbs do not make you fat. Don't believe all the bullshit out there. Carbs don't make you fat. Too many calories make you fat. And yes, if you eat more protein and fat, it's harder to get fat. But if you actually train and you get your muscles to store more glycogen and more sugar, that's what creates sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, right? A lot of people don't realize that to be big and full and try to have that round muscle look to where you look a little bit more, girthy, for lack of a better word, that girth comes from, you don't have to lift super heavy, but you do got to kind of lift a little bit heavier than you think, and 6 to 8. So 6 to 8's and understanding control and stability. Most people, when they lift, it has become apparent to me, and it took me almost a decade to figure this out. I really tore up my body when I first started training. I didn't understand stability. I didn't understand difference in load phasing. I was a good athlete, as far as my endurance goes, but it was more like I was just tough and could bear pain. I wish I would have learned earlier the concepts of time under tension and how to grow muscle without fatiguing the nervous system. I wish I would have understood those concepts earlier when I trained. Took me like 10 years to figure that stuff out. But once I figured it out, it started making a lot of sense. Remember, for performance, yes, you want to get stronger. But when you're trying to increase hypertrophy and get your body to get larger, there is a more efficient way to train than what most people do. Right? And I'm a sports nutritionist as well as some other stuff that I do. But as a sports scientist and someone who understands nutrition, I can tell you firsthand, that carbs do not make you fat. That's youth we both share. What's up, Coach Chris? I'm back. What's up? Oklahoma Gym. What's up, baby? I'm going on a bulk, Oklahoma Gym. So coming off of some injuries, I got 2 herniated discs, but I decided since I can't really focus on my lower body, which is where I've always been like lower body heavy. I've always been like a good deadlifter, back and legs. So because I can't really train my legs really heavy, I'm doubling up on upper body and basically shoving down a bunch of mashed potatoes, eggs, and steak and butter, and basically eating mostly protein and carbs with some healthy fats. I mean, I still eat carbs and fats together, guys. I don't know what people keep telling me that carbs make you fat. But you know what happens when I eat carbs? I take carbs and I put them in my muscle through glycogen. Hey, how are you? My body is much more sensitive to my old wounds, but my Coke keeps me safe. Cool. That's cool. So for me, when I eat carbs, or sugar molecules, they get broken up into glycogen. 1 unit of carb can hold 3 units of water. Okay. So for every 1 gram of carb that you eat, 1 unit, you can hold 3 units of water. Carbs keep you full and prevent breakdown of muscle during high intensity activity. So ideally, the more often you can fuel your body with carbohydrates, keep your glycogen full, and then progressively train in a way where you're actually using the sugar. Like when you contract your muscles, you're using sugar, you're using phosphate. Like these basic concepts, once you understand them, you realize carbs don't make you fat. Like, Coach Chris, welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. How's your day? How are you? Gay. Coach Chris keeps me safe. My coach, yeah. So essentially, guys, I want to teach you guys how to bulk, okay? I do not believe that the body cannot eat carbs. Now, I will say this, the potatoes and the rice and the carbs that I get, even though I live in the United States, I don't eat a lot of the processed junk. I do eat some of it, right? I do eat a little bit of junk. I eat some cookies and some donuts from time to time, but mostly it's proteins, carbs, and healthy fats. It's a balanced diet. And it works really good because I train I do something physically active every day, whether it's cardio or hypertrophy. Every day I try to do something. If it's a day where I'm just tired, I can't do anything, then I'll stretch. I'll do mobility. I'll do yoga. I'll do something. I'll get a pump if I have to. But that's kind of like how it keeps your body consistently growing. And then every now and then, if you really tear it up in the gym, I wouldn't mind, but YouTube bots carry it. Oh, yeah. So that being said, with me, see if any of y'all, I have my scale. I got to use the restroom real quick. I'm going to use the restroom. And this is the bulk right now, guys. So this is your boy, right? So this is me. Give me a second. I need to use the restroom. Okay. But this is me bulked right now. So we are definitely putting size back on. Okie dokie. There we go, and we're back. And we're back. So, anybody still in here? Yo. Yeah, so that's just kind of an example, guys. Like I said, I never said I was the largest, but I have been able to put on some size recently. So, and if you're anything like me and you were ever really, really lean and really skinny, sometimes it's fun when you put on size. And because I have put on size and bulked and cut for many years, when I do decide to put on size, it's always fun because my body has muscle memory. And what is muscle memory? Muscle memory means my body remembers how it used to be large, and a lot of times it tries to get large again when I eat and give it the stimulus. Remember, the stimulus is everything. What stimulus are you giving the muscle? What stimulus are you giving the muscle, right? And what are you feeding it? Like, look at the gym and say, hey, why would my muscle get bigger and thicker? You know, what am I doing to elicit this type of response? Am I doing anything to elicit this response? Because most people go into the gym and what they typically do is they don't really train for muscle building. Now, if you're not training for muscle building, awesome. But if your goal is to go into the gym and do like some type of muscle building, or do something where you want your body or your butt or your arms or whatever to grow, there is a way to make that portion of your body grow and look better. 100% better. Crazy difference between doing one style of training and the other. Now, you can also train to get stronger, you can train to get leaner, you can train to get bulky. There's all sorts of ways to train. And the question is, which way are you going to train based on your goal? And once you really figure out how you're supposed to train for your goal, it makes it a lot easier. For example, when I was doing marathons and training for that, I didn't really train like a bodybuilder. And when I was putting on size, I didn't really do a lot of running. I did cardio, but I didn't run. Now, why is that? Well, there's reasons for that. If I can do cardio and burn fat, if I want to get leaner and hold on to muscle and make sure every ounce of weight isn't just poofy in water, I train differently, right? Every way you train, all the ways you train, all the ways you eat, all of them have a purpose. And when you understand how it works, it makes your gains a lot easier. What is the topic? Hello, Real Matrix. I wouldn't mind YouTube. Okay, so topics are, as you can see here, I am a certified strength and conditioning coach and nutritionist, sports nutrition. And I'm starting a new gym, a new field out here in a new area. So we're having fun. Now, the topic is, hey, Coach Cam, and hey, Cam, hey, Coach and Cam, yo. The topic is nutrition. What do you want to know about nutrition? This is your guys' chance to ask questions. Okay, you see here, I'm a certified coach. I'm a certified sports nutritionist. Okay, I've been training myself and other people for a long time. Okay, my bulk is going fine. But my question to you guys is, what questions on nutrition do you have? That is my question to you as I make a cup of coffee. As I make a pot of coffee, what questions do you guys have on nutrition? It can be anything. Remember, In my field, I do consider myself an expert at this. I've been studying this for a long time. So it can be anything from, should I eat this? Should I eat that? I have this, I have that. I can't lose weight. I can't do this. I can't bulk. What am I doing? Sports science and nutrition is my thing. That's the topic of the day. So what do you guys have? Welcome in, gang. How's bulking going? Bulking is going amazing. Yes. The bulk is good. We are bulking. So we're going to put some size back on. We're sitting right now, and right now I'm going to make some shroom coffee. Make me some of my shroom coffee. This is one of my favorite coffees. I take adaptogenic mushrooms and I blend it with a kind of like a medium roast. So it gives me adaptogenic mushrooms, helps them recover from lifting. Big fan of that. Pop that there. All right. What you guys got? What you guys got? What you guys got? Sipping sideways. Haha. What we got? Sipping sideways. Food is my problem, especially when I'm eating dinner. I tend to drink soda. Well, here's the thing, Real Matrix. So with my MMA experience, I ate a lot of beans and eggs and lean meat from farm, but would you be your advice or people who can't afford that? So those are two interesting questions. First off, beans and eggs for MMA. If I was training for MMA, I would make my diet very simple. I'd get like a 50-pound bag of rice or a 50-pound bag of potatoes, and that would be my carb. As far as protein, I would probably go to discount stores like Ross's or Daily Bins and find me a 10 to 20-pound bag of powdered protein that they're going to think is expired, but since its shelf life is 7 years, I'd find me 10 to 15-pound bag of protein. So throughout the day, I can just be sipping on shakes to keep my nitrogen retention up, because the more often you train, the more amino acids you need in your system. So meat from a farm, that's going to be hard to replace. But what I would do is I would get bulk eggs. If you can take it, some raw milk or cheese isn't bad, depending on if you're bulking or cutting, depending on if you're athletic or not. If you're getting more calories, whole milk. If not, you can do a lot with eggs, rice, and as far as food, go to a bulk store, go to an Aldi or a Gordon restaurant, get you a giant bag of chicken sausage or chicken breast and an air fryer. Get you an air fryer at Goodwill. Go to a Goodwill, get an air fryer, get you a bunch of chicken sausage. Cheese tortellini, stuff like that, pastas and cheeses. I'm a big fan that if you're actually training hard, which most people don't train hard, you can eat more carbs and fats. That's a lot of apple juice. Yeah. Yeah, but here's the thing. If you're moving all day, the apple juice, I'm a big fan of juice. Like if I wanted to go to the gym and I was going to train to do like a lot of volume, and by volume, I mean I'm literally going to pump my body up. I am going to take honey or sugar sometimes, and I'm going to sip on that as I'm training, especially if I'm going to be training over an hour. Sometimes when I want to put on size, I eat while I train. And sometimes as I'm eating, you got to think, you're sending a stimulus to your body. You're depleting nutrients. Then you take in sugar, that's glycogen, and insulin. Insulin's going to shuttle that to your glycogen reservoir. So it's kind of like you got to eat based on your output. And then paying attention to the scale and how you look, you either keep the protein the same, but then you up and down the carbs or fats based on if you're more like a person who likes carbs like me. I love carbs. Or like one of my friends who's ketogenic. They don't really like carbs. They like to run off fats. So you have to figure out what your preferred energy source is and then apply it to your regimen. And if you don't know how to do that, you should hire someone like me who's a professional coach who's been doing this with athletes for nearly 15, 20 years. So 2 to 4 in liquid a day. That's cool. Yeah, Yeah, well, I guarantee most of y'all watching this video, most of y'all don't train like I do. So I can guarantee that most of you don't train like I do. It's nothing bad, nothing good, but I train at a lot of gyms. And again, I don't have the greatest muscle building genetics. So because I've been training for a long time, I've bulked and cut. In high school, I went from 160 as a senior. In the Navy, got up to 300 pounds, bulked, cut, had surgeries, herniated discs. So I've kind of been doing this for a few years, guys, you know. And I can tell you firsthand, understanding hypertrophy and getting muscle to grow as far as the circumference is a little bit trickier than you think. It's different than athletic training. There's a lot of different ways to train guys. There's a lot of effective ways. There's conjugate, there's undulating, there's so many ways to train, and there's so many goals in training. Some people want to be stronger, some people want to look better. Sure, potassium's great, but you need more than just potassium, just so you know. Potassium is great, Bum B, you are correct. But you need all electrolyte balances to contract. But yes, potassium is a very important one. It is important. It's always the same thing. Me exercises every day, then that third week I'm back to the old habits. Yeah, sure. Well, don't do that. If you keep saying Real Max, oh, it's always the same thing, exercise, then if you keep saying that, that's what's going to keep happening. So instead of saying, it's the same thing for me every week, if I was you, what I would say is, hey, this time I'm going to keep it rocking and I'm going to stay solid. Like for me, guys, I've been doing physical challenges my whole life, whether I'm bulking or cutting or we're training for a marathon or a 100-mile race or doing strongman. Like I've been training most of my life because I just enjoy physical training. I enjoy pumping blood through my body. I enjoy a good pump, and I know how it feels, and it's kind of like a dopamine release. So, yeah. Yeah, so that's a different way of training. So, real marked. So, yeah, so training to be buff or see, I like to train to be thick. I like to look thick from the side. I like to look on the side and have like thick triceps and thick hamstrings because I'm like 235 pounds, right? So I like to have girth. Now, if you don't want thickness and girth and you want to stay leaner, there's a way to train to do that. There's a way to train for thickness. There's a way to train for girth. A lot of it comes down to your eating and how you train, right? And that's kind of what I do for a living. So if you're looking for a coach, then, I can, write you a program. I can write you a nutrition plan. I don't do them for free, obviously, but I do give a lot of tips on the chat. But it's a lot different when you actually have me in your corner as a coach. You get my direct attention, and I actually give that attention to the people that pay me. Yeah, but you got to say, you're like, I don't want to train to be buff. I want to train to look good. That's not why you train. You don't just train to look good. You don't train to be buff. That's why you can't stick to a fucking program. You train for yourself, right? If you train to look good, train to look buff, train to do this, nah. What you want to do is you want to train for a goal. And your goal is then something that you say, okay, I want to get bigger. I want to get stronger. I want to get leaner. I want to do this. I want to do that. Once you have that in your mind, you put that goal down for a week or 2 weeks or a month or 3 months, and then you work yourself to the goal. You know what I'm saying? For example, you look at me a couple months ago when I was running, I was training for like marathons, and I decided, know what, with the gym opening up, I want to put on some more muscle. So I shifted my goals, I wrote my program, and now I'm getting juicy and succulent again. I'm limited to what I can do. I don't think I'll ever be able to get back as big as I used to be. But now I'm getting to be like feeling pretty good, you know, eating good, been training like an animal, but I have the schedule to do it. And with this commercial project, it's pretty much eat, sleep, train, cardio, eat, sleep, train, cardio, take care of my clients, take care of my clients, take care of my clients, play some piano, do a YouTube stream. That's kind of how my day goes. So, and maybe you guys will enjoy watching the bulk and the progress commence, because my arms are definitely coming in. Not that my arms are huge, but I was never a big guy, guys. I was kind of tall, but I was never really thick. So weight training is a great way to get thick. So change my mentality. Yes, you absolutely change your mentality. Well, this is kind of like the mind, music, and muscle. Some of that training is mindset. So it's kind of like this, man. Change your mentality. Never say I can't. Okay? It's I'm having trouble. This is difficult. I'm getting the hang of it. I'm making improvements. I'm taking the challenge. I take the challenge. Even if I fail, I'm still going to try. Right? I can do it. I can, I will. You got to start like telling yourself that in your mind if you want to be serious, and that's going to manifest into reality, you know. That's what I do, because I got a lot of haters. I got haters that come into my chat all the time and like are just crazy. And I tell them, what's the secret? You know, the secret is keeping your mind healthy. And, you know, you got to look at the world like a mirror. When you look at a mirror in your bathroom, the mirror can't judge you. You look at the mirror and then you form your own opinion based on what you see. But at the end of the day, that mirror can't judge you. So when you have people around you that come into your stream or in your chat, what you do is you treat them like a mirror, and you do not let that mirror affect how they judge you. That is the key. You get what I'm saying? I mean, you got to think about that. Chew on that concept. Stop letting other people kind of affect. Like, you want to kill someone, kill them with kindness. Just smile and be like, what's up, dude? Or stay in your own world and stay introverted. You know, there's a lot of power in not speaking and just smiling. Pretend to be dumb. I do that all the time. Literally, people are telling me things, and I'm literally thinking 4 steps ahead of them, like, yeah. Just pretend to be dumb. It's okay for people to think you're an idiot. It's okay for people to think you're an idiot. It's okay. Don't let that affect you. What you should be focusing on is what you are doing, right? Works like a charm every time. You're sitting there. Like, here's the thing. If you let that person dictate if you're in a gym or you're at a store and somebody is going to dictate, their actions are going to change what you do. Now, if you feel threatened or something's there, cool, you know, don't start a fight. Be the first to walk away. If you have anything to lose, don't get in a fight, not in public. Save that shit for being out in the woods when there's no cameras, okay? Just trust me on that. But, you know, when you can sit there and you can discipline yourself to eat a certain way and have certain disciplines about yourself, not look at porn. I tell this to young men all the time, girls too. Don't look at porn. Don't look at that. You know, try to really put in discipline to get to your goal, and you will be surprised at how fast that goal will come your way if you're putting in the work. But you got to put in the work, and you got to have some form of discipline. Well, you know, there's more than one way to skin a cat. You can always deflect. You can always not. Like when you have a personality like myself, I have a very loud voice. I'm very opinionated. So sometimes I sit there and, you know, I sit there and say nothing. A lot of times when I'm not on camera, you'll see me, I'm just sitting there kind of observing everything, looking around. There's a time and place for that. What you want to do, though, is when there's an answer that needs to be solved or there's a problem, it's not bad for you to be one of the people to solve the problem, because when people see you solve a problem, that speaks louder than what you say. And that's one thing that took me a long time to realize in life, because I was raised by an extroverted mother who just and never shuts up. And she kind of like trained me to be that way. So it wasn't later on until life. Now, the flip side is I'm a fucking awesome communicator. I'm a damn good communicator. But that's something I've noticed. You just have to wait. Let things fall into place and be prepared at all times. Corn hub. There you go. Corn's good for a bulk. Ha ha ha. Yeah, but also if you're working at a job, if you're working at a job and you want to be the person, sometimes you want to be the person to solve problems, and sometimes you want to be the person that doesn't know. So it's kind of more strategic how you do it. These things are so tasty. You see one of these? Okay, y'all know what these are? Little Debbie's. I'm gonna tell you how bad I am. You ever seen them? You see this? This is how bad I can get. I got home from the gym last night and I ate a whole box of these. That's like 1,000 calories worth of sugar. Straight up post-workout. Sucked it down. Oh yeah, they're terrible for you. The Little Debbie. Oh God, this stuff is pure shit. I still eat them though. There's pure shit. Enriched monosodium titanium dioxide. Oh my God, sorbet for THBQ. Jesus Christ, this would make a vegan's head fucking explode. If someone from Los Angeles ate this, they would self-combust. No, but they are yummy. I ate a whole box of them when I got back from the gym. I literally just dunked them in milk. Speaking of that, it is growing season. So because we have the time and the calories, you know what time it is? It is time for a muscle smoothie. So I'm throwing in a lot of protein because I'm training hard. So I'm upping my frequency of protein pretty high. So now this shot of protein is just going to be straight ice, right? Pure ice with whey. Well, this is going to be iso whey. So pure ice with isolate whey, which is going to be 50 grams. So this will put my total, it's 3 o'clock and I have hit this will be 50. It's 3 o'clock and I'm at 250 grams of protein for the day, right? And I'm going to use some PB2 with it because the PB2 powder gives it some extra chocolate peanut butter, which is yummy. And because it is growing season and we're training like an animal, like we're doing a lot of volume. Guys, don't eat like me if you don't train like me. I do a lot of volume, guys. So, don't eat like me if you don't train like me. Okay. But this is how I bulk. All right? See how thick and creamy that is? And just like that, that's another 50 grams of protein. So do you need to eat this way to grow? Well, you don't need to eat this way to stay fit, no. But if you're training and you don't have like a basic knowledge of nutrition, you're wasting a lot of time in the gym. Like, I'm telling you, man. So for me, because I'm bulking again, you see how we're getting more of the muscle in there? The arms are thickening out. So we're getting thicker. So we are putting on size again. So you guys can see from like a few months ago. The only difference is, guys, I went from running close to 80 miles a week to stopping running altogether. While I was running, I was also fasting. So I lost a lot of weight. Then I built a nutrition program around sports science with carbs, potatoes, protein, milks, cheeses, meats, and started training every other day, full body, prep my body. I have 2 herniated discs, doing some cardio, but what I'm doing is I'm focusing on keeping a lot of protein in my body to keep my body growing. I'm literally treating my muscles right now like little flowers. And I imagine every time I put these amino acids and protein in my body, I'm slowly get them to grow. And I'm dedicating a lot of time and a lot of energy to building muscle because you guys seem to think in this chat that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So for all you haters, there's a big F you. And you can see, look how large I am now compared to a couple months ago. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I literally, all I did was shift my nutrition and change the way I train. And if I wanted to cut back down to 200 pounds, I could do that with a simple change, right? But with the gym opening up, we're going to build a little bit more muscle. So I'm building more in the chest. I'm going to be putting like right through here. So as you can see, we're getting thicker again. Now, for all you guys who don't know this, before I got injured, I was about 300 pounds. So, yeah, I'm not as big as you think from a week ago. The difference is, Bun B, I loaded my glycogen. So what I did was I went through a period of time where I showed my body's glycogen reservoirs got low. So I did a carb load for like a week. And all I did was load up with carbs. That's like a trick that you use. So it's a form of carb cycling. I look larger. I am larger, kind of. But it's more of glycogen replenishment. Nope. Difference is not steroids, brother. The difference is I have muscle memories. It's food, man. I'm telling you. It's food, brother. I'm telling you, man, you got to remember, before my surgery, I was 300 pounds, guys. Muscle memory is a real thing. What did you do for 10 years of your life? If you didn't dedicate it to deadlifting before you hurt your back, you probably didn't build as thick of a base as I had before my surgery. You guys got to remember, I have a large frame. What do we got here? Muscle memory? Yeah. Yeah. Believe what you want, brother. I train with people who use gear, and I can tell you, if I was using gear, you would know, because I would turn into an animal. It's okay if you don't understand nutrition. You know, that's why there's carpenters and that's why there's electricians. Not everybody understands nutrition. When you get bigger and thicker, it's literally nutrition. There we go. No, muscle memory is huge. Also, muscle memory is huge. Also, don't forget, I made a video exactly how I bulk. You know, I take 25 grams of creatine a day. I literally show you my food, how I prep. I mean, it's a lot of work, guys. You got to remember, it's a lot of work for me to try to actually build muscle again. So, but it's fun. We'll see. Right now, we also have a couple herniated discs. So basically, if you understand how sarcoplasmic hypertrophy works in time under tension, what you're going to realize is there's a way to train to engorge yourself and teach your body to hold glycogen. And nutrition is a very big key to that. Like, I've been studying nutrition since I was a teenager, and my opinions on nutrition have changed over the years. I'll tell you right now, carbs don't make you fat. That's for sure. Now, some people can't, some people have metabolic damage, and the people with metabolic damage, they sometimes can't really eat a lot of carbs. But if they slip into ketosis and basically become more insulinogenic, right, be able to utilize insulin better before type 2 and 1 diabetes kicks in. Before that, they can actually get their body to utilize carbs. Remember, you want your body to be able to use carbs or fats for energy. Depending on how you train, sometimes you want more fats for energy, sometimes you want more carbs for energy, but at the end of the day, if you use volume and you get your body to have a good circulatory system, and you eat protein 5 to 7 times a day, realistically, if you can eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and 2 snacks, you're going to utilize protein synthesis. You will. From a sports science perspective, you will utilize MPS for 5 servings of protein. I think the biggest difference between me and other people is something that I do, and I don't tell people on the stream, but I'm very, 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 very aware of how much protein I eat a day and when I get my protein. And if I'm training with volume, I eat a lot of carbohydrates, specifically from potatoes when I want to bulk. When I want to cut, I switch from potatoes to rice. For whatever reason, potatoes thicken me out. Potatoes are just potatoes and honey. Great for bulking. Rice is great too. I have rice, but I'll tell you this, eating more protein, like I take 50 grams plus 8 ounces, so 75 grams of protein twice a day, right? And the amino acids that I put in my body's never left searching for amino acids. So therefore, the nitrogen retention prevents cortisol spike. That keeps muscle protein synthesis active. And then if you do metabolic stress training, high volume training, you now create the stimulus, and now you have the nutrition, and it's kind of like prepped a couple days ahead of time. So that's the extent of knowledge I keep up with when I'm doing my diet. If you're training and you're not doing this and you don't understand these principles, maybe there's a reason why your training is ineffective, because your nutrition is so important. Oh yeah, no, absolutely no. When it comes to growing muscle, I usually like to train every other day. I only train every other day, and when I'm not training, I might do a walk, I might do some cardio. I do a lot of mobility work because I have herniated discs. But as far as pure, heavy, hard training, I don't think 3 or 4 days a week that's the sweet spot. Now, you could go to the gym and you could train a body part a day and you could do one a day, but what I'm talking about is I do like an upper body, lower body, to where I'm working on heavier dips, heavier rows, heavier deadlifts, heavier squats, heavier presses. Those heavier weights where I'm trying to get 10 to 12 with good repetition and stabilize. I'm working on my form every day. But as far as just attacking a muscle, nah. When you feel beat up and you feel like you need rest, that's a day where you up your carbs, you up your fats, you get some rest, and you let your body fill out. Yeah, I eat based on my activity. If I have more time to train, I eat more food. If I have a day where work allows me to not train, Then I cut down my energy, but I keep my protein the same. So it's kind of like always undulating depending on what's coming up in my day. Chris just won the final. Just won the final? What's the final? I don't even know what that means. Undulating. So it's kind of like auto repetition. Yo, what's up? It's auto regulating. So think of it like this. If I know I'm going to go to the gym in an hour, let's say I wake up at 5 in the morning and I'm like, you know what? I want to be at the gym in an hour. Then I'm going to make me a big ass smoothie with probably 1,000 calories, slam it down, have some honey, and I'm going to be ready to go to the gym if I'm going to train hard. Now, if it's a day where I'm off and it's like I'm only going to go to do some cardio or go for a walk, I'm probably going to eat differently. But when I'm trying to stress you guys from a nutrition standpoint, how you eat should be determined on your output. For example, Cameron Casanova earlier was like, hey, I'd go through 2 things of apple juice. If you're sipping on apple juice as a sugar and you're moving all day, you're probably burning through that sugar. That's great. I do that same thing when I'm lifting weights. The only difference is I also have nutrition in my bloodstream from the last meals I've eaten the last couple days. And the way I'm training, you're at work moving back and forth. If I'm lifting a weight that I am progressively trying to put more tension on a muscle, that's going to elicit the stimulus for growth. Thus, if I elicit that stimulus, get the metabolites in there, that's going to create growth if you're training properly. But that also means when you train, you're actually taking away momentum. You're actually contracting the muscle, you're holding, you're going control. You're also exploding sometimes, and you're actually writing down your workouts like, hey, I did 4 sets of 10. Next week, I'm going to do 4 sets of 12. Like, if you're not doing those steps, the nutrition, and then the sleeping, and then if you want to grow muscle, you can't go out all night. You can't go out and just like go party all day. I mean, I can't. I have to sleep because I need to recover from my training. I mean, that's when I make the most gains is when I like sleep and eat, Now, building muscle is not something that's fun to you. It probably sounds stupid. You'd rather do something else. But people are different. People do different things. More cowboy. Verse of 5 bells a diddy da 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 na 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 do 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 na 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 and a partridge in a pear tree. No, we're kind of remember me. Let's see. 5 bells of ditty. 5 bells a ditty, 4 baby oils, 3 pack of storals. Look at the pearl, 1 big lawsuit. Oh, Diddy, did you see this coming? And he ended up on bail. That's my song. I don't know. What are we doing? No, I'm just joking. I was singing the 12 Days of Diddy Christmas as brought up by Casanova Cameron, just for pure entertainment value, as I suck down my succulent Isopure chocolate peanut butter gain shake. See, this is where somebody the other day told me I should be a comedian. They said I should go on stage and just talk, and they said people think it would be funny. If I went on stage and talk, I think I'd probably piss some people off. If I was on stage, the first thing I would do, I would go out and I'd ask the people where they were from and what they're into. I'd also say, what the hell is wrong with the world? Does God exist? Can you prove that God exists? Can you tell me if God of the Old Testament was kind of an asshole because he kind of told God to go slaughter a bunch of men and women and children? And that's how I would open up my comedy show. Can we decide whether this is morally and ethically sound or just philosophical bullshit to control the masses? But if I did comedy, I'd probably get shot. Welcome to the club, guys. Who cares if I piss people off? I don't really care, but sometimes people get really angry and then they want to tussle, then they want to fight, and then I end up hurting somebody because everybody always thinks because I'm more chill that I'm just like a super nice person. I really don't like confrontation. I try to stay away from it because I'm one of those people who like to fight, and I really like to scrap. So I just kind of try to stay away from that because there's always some drunk asshole who thinks I'm drunk, and I hardly drink. You may catch me smoke from time to time, but I'm not one to really drink, right? Thanks, Cameron. But yeah, Cameron, just so you know, even though the school's not in, if you do decide that you ever want to do a bulk or anything, because remember, I'm a believer that good food and nutrition is important, but I also think I know how to eat and train the body to kind of cut anabolism on. So if you ever are going through a bulk or anything, feel free to let me know. Like I said, I am a coach. I am a nutrition person. I try to give free value on here. But remember, I've got one of those body types where my body responds to training pretty fast because I've been training I trained for I don't know, I'm close to 40 years old, right? Almost 40. And I started doing sports when I was a teenager. But I was basketball, baseball, football. I did a lot of sports. So I was never super big and strong, but I kept training, and I can tell you I've learned some things where, from a nutrition standpoint, you're leaving gains on the table no matter how you're training if certain nutrition isn't there. Well, I mean, I'm not exactly a small dude, but my biggest muscles are in my back and legs. I'm 6'4". But I'm actually trying to stay somewhat lean. Even though I eat a bunch of food, I'm just trying to grow new muscle tissue. Remember, the more muscle tissue you put on your frame, the more calories you're going to burn at rest. So if you build more muscle and then you keep your nutrition pretty clean, eventually what's going to happen is you're going to pull away the fat as you gain more muscle and strength, as long as your calories are somewhat in check, And the best way to do it is to kind of regulate your insulin by not spiking it all the time. It's okay to have potatoes and pastas from time to time. I feel so stupid. Do you know? I feel so stupid. Did he know the way? Ah. I kind of have a goal. I kind of want to get 20-inch arms. You see how the veins are coming in now? Right through here. The reason that these veins are coming in through my arm is because I took a dumbbell and I do this. You ready for an exercise? I take a dumbbell and this is what I do. I grab it. You see how I squeeze my arm and the muscle pops? I pin my arm down and I take a dumbbell and this is all I do. I literally take a dumbbell and I turn it like this. I put my thumb up and I do this. And if you sit here with a dumbbell, keep all the tension on this spot, and you twist and supinate, you will get a split in your bicep. Take it from a kinesiology major. It's not this. Watch how I place it. I have a vape pen. I'm going to squeeze it like it's a dumbbell. Chest up, Watch how I roll the shoulder back. Watch how I push the angle. You see how I'm pushing this down? And you see how when I push the bicep is here? Now, I'm not saying just do this. You should still do your curls and other stuff. But if you grab it, grab the dumbbell, turn. Just turning is causing that. If you want to grow muscle, you've got to be able to do that to every muscle in your body, from your calf to your delt to your rhomboids to your erectors. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what the 67 means either. I just didn't care. My bad. I know people say it, but that's something that a lot of people don't realize. Like, people don't realize that your muscles don't know what weight is, guys. It only knows tension. Now, I like to lift heavy weight when I can, but if you can angle your body to put torque and push, and you can actually torque and learn how to torque your body, you can build a lot of muscle by manipulating load. So when people drop a 67, that's them announcing their girth in millimeters. Oh, that's cool. My desire to care for that is so little, I don't even think I'm going to remember that past this conversation. When I'm thinking about 6'7", all I'm thinking about is pretty much nothing. I'm thinking about if it would be a good idea to take a quick 20-minute nap to grow some muscle. What I'm thinking about is how am I going to, because I'm going to stretch my hips later. And I'm thinking with my body, you guys don't realize, because I'm hitting the body and letting it grow and doing stimulate, not annihilate, and I'm eating a bunch of carbs. You guys, I'm telling you, man, let me train you. If you need a trainer, let me train you. Message me on Instagram and say, my Instagram is Mind Music and Muscle, same logo. Message me on IG. Eventually, I'm going to get a calendar link up there so people can just book me again. But I'll be the best coach you never had. I don't watch any other streamers. I think I'm one of the only people that don't watch streams. I'm probably a pretty shitty streamer because I don't go look, I don't study. All I'm doing is bulking and doing my training and teaching you guys as I bulk. It's kind of like a blog. And I play piano sometimes. So well, yeah, but you got to think, I don't have a streaming schedule. I go live and it's turned into a blog. I just had a conversation about nutrition, teaching people how to bulk if they're trying to bulk this winter. So, no big deal. Like, again, if you want value, stay in the channel. If not, go on your way. But I promise you this, I gave some good advice on how to bulk if you're growing muscle. I'm telling you. Some good advice. It's not my fault if you don't use it. It is not my fault if you don't use it. But take it from me, the tips I gave you for nutrition and bulking, as I am on the middle of my bulk, they work. What we got in the chat? What we got? Do you have a PC? Do I have a PC? Why do you want to know if I have a PC? Are you going to tell me to look at something? Are you going to tell me to do something? Are you going to come me to go play? Because I promise you, if that's the case, the answer is no. I'm not trying to be mean, but I don't have enough time to just... The only time I have to myself right now, in between my shifts at the gym, pretty much building my own business, selling my health insurance business, doing all that. Pretty much the only thing I have time for YouTube is just to do a little stream like this. But like I said, if I'm not monetized by the end of next year, then I'm quitting YouTube. It's been a good run, 10 years. About 10 years running. So, if I don't get monetized by the end of next year, then I'm probably going to be done. And then I will never, ever, ever fucking be online again. But we're going to give it to the end of next year. We're going to do a bulk, do the gym thing, and then we're going to go from there. Right now, we are only focused on building muscle, and that's pretty much it. Building my business and helping with One Life, and we're in the middle of a bulk. So, what you got? Can I know the specs? What you mean by specs? What are you talking about? Oh, the specifics? No. Well, put it this way, guys. When you are lifting to build muscle, stability is your key. You need to be stable, and you need to be, like, you see how when I do this, I can contract my chest and my shirt? You see how it just kind of pops up? If I do that and then I convince to train, that's good. But what if I don't do that? What if I just train and I don't contract that chest? The ability to contract a muscle as you're pushing the load, they call it a mind-muscle connection, but it's more than just a mind-muscle connection. It's actually a contraction. The contraction itself is something that some people can't do. They just can't contract the muscle. Like physically, they know they're supposed to, but if you're not actively contracting the muscle as you train, in my opinion, you are leaving... Nah, don't do that. Huh, interesting. It's amazing that none of y'all ask any questions about training in this channel. Interesting. Anyways, see you guys next time. Peace.